particularly in the U.S. Economic data is expected to come out today. Take us through.
Good afternoon, Lulu. Yes, so we are expecting quite a number of key economic data to come out of the U.S. This week. Today, well, later this evening, our time, we're expecting the U.S. to release their PCE number, so that's the personal consumption expenditure number. It is the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation in the US, and investors or markets normally use that to sort of get hints of what the Fed is likely to do in terms of its interest rate trajectory. A key one also that's coming out on Friday is non-farm payrolls, which speaks to unemployment in the US. So it gives an indication of how the economy is doing. Are there job openings being created, or is the employment sector or the employment pool shrinking? So those are the key data that markets are looking at seeing this week coming out of the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I read that there are reports that the US economy was struggling even before this month's tariff sweep. If this is true, could this ramp up the chances of a 2025 recession?
So it's a number of things. Yes, we've seen sort of a sluggish economy, data suggesting that the U.S. economy was slowing down, even pre the tariffs, as you've said. But we are also seeing a lot of de-escalation of those tariffs and all of that. So there is hope that we are going to see an improved U.S. economy. But at the same time, I think that the Fed also has, a few levers that they can still pull to make sure that the economy probably doesn't go into a recession. They can lower interest rates, which is what President Trump has been fighting them for, if you remember from our conversation last week. So they can still lower interest rates and other policy mechanics that they can use to try and revive the economy.
Okay, so let's move right along and take a look at currencies today, with the VAT being reversed in South Africa.
Yes.
What's happening? Has the rand gained its strength?
So in early trade this morning, we saw the rand losing a bit of the strength that it has acquired in the past 2 days against all major currencies, 18.62 against the dollar, 21.15 against the euro, and 24.88 against the pound. So this afternoon, Minister Godongwane, the finance minister, addressed the media and informed the public that he will be presenting the revised budget on the 21st of May, 2025. This is after the scrapping of the increase in VAT that was proposed, or that was previously presented when the budget was presented. So we will be presenting a revised budget now that excludes that increase. So revising the expenditure as well as income that the country is expected to see. But I think from his comments this afternoon, he was more on the country's ability to manage its debt better. So it seems that will be the focus of the budget that we are seeing. So other than that, there is a bit of economic stats coming out of South Africa, but those have not really impacted the rates in as much as market volatility is concerned. So it's mostly on just global pressures, as well as just the uncertainty around the budget that's sort of shifting or moving the needle.
Yeah, all right. So moving on now to commodities. We just want us to get into the effects of tariffs on both oil and gold today.
Yeah, so commodities are in the red today. So in terms of oil, I think we've seen the drop in the price of oil, reaching levels of about $5.59. I think that was last night, but today it's trading at 65.48 per barrel, still very low. And I would say that most of the producers of oil are saying that they need at least $65 for them to make money. So anything below that means that they are losing money. So weighing heavily on the price of Brent crude has been the effects of the tariffs, because that presents uncertainty and it also slows down economic activity. So if there is less activity, then there is less demand. Additional to that, we've also seen OPEC Plus announcing that they will be continuing with hiking or increasing their output in terms of oil. So that speaks to now more oil and less demand because of the tariffs that are implemented and sluggish economies. So that has weighed heavily on the price of oil over the past couple of weeks. Yeah, but we're going to see how that pans out with the de-escalation that we're seeing of the tensions between the US and China and other countries. Maybe that will sort of drive economic activity and drive demand up, which will then increase the price of oil. Gold, on the other hand, is also down. Gold has been a safe haven for investors from the beginning of the year. We've seen the price of gold going up to levels of $3,500 US, but it has, in the last two sessions, yesterday and today, lost a bit of ground. The first one being the de-escalation of the tariffs or the tensions between the US and China, which then gives investors some sort of relief and some sort of edge to test riskier options with their money. So then they tend to then put gold on the side and look into stocks and equities. So we've seen that. So that has sort of weighed on the price of gold, as well as the stronger dollar that we are seeing. As you would recall that if the dollar is going up, gold will go the opposite direction.
Okay. So lastly, we take a look at equities today. They are in the green zone today. Yeah. So how's that happening? Yeah.
So equities are doing quite good. There are a number of things that are happening. As you can see, all of them are green. The S&P 500 at 5,560.83, the FTSE 100 at 8,476.56 pounds, and the JSE All Share Index at 91,903.15. We are seeing a number of these corporations reporting their first quarter earnings, and we are seeing some of them are reporting quite good numbers. With the S&P 500, we're expecting AI giants like Microsoft and Meta to report their earnings later today. So investors are looking to see what that would look like. But so far, most of the companies that have reported have shown quite good results. Coming to the UK, the FTSE, we've seen Barclays Bank today reporting 11% increase in their profits from last year, which is quite good. We've seen GSK in the health sector also reporting good numbers as well for their first quarter. So it's mostly pushed by first quarter earnings.
Right. Thank you so much, Toba. Well, that was Toba Kameta from Nedbank Eswatini for today's market analysis. It's 10 minutes before 3 o'clock. We'll quickly go for an ad break and we'll come back and wrap up the show.
Digital helps you make cross-border payments. Human gives you global specialists. Digital allows you to apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Human connects you to credit experts. Digital puts you in control of your money, while Human connects you to wealth advisors. Digital allows you to freeze, unfreeze, cancel, and reorder your card. Human gives you that personal touch. Digital when you want it. Human when you need it. Get the complete private banking experience with Nedbank Private Clients.